What's up, YouTube? It's your boy DR2727. Shout out to my Transformer collectors, 1/12 scale collectors, Marvel Legends, Mezco, statue collectors, model car collectors, legend scale collectors, whatever you collect, shout out to you. And this month's video for July 2020 is basically a question. FansToys, 3 questions. FansToys, could they, should they, would they? And I'm sure all my savvy collectors can see by the figures I got laid out where I'm going with this, but we're gonna flesh it out. I'm going to ask those 3 questions. I'm going to give my opinion on them. Now, I want to hear from you guys for this, because I really do think that this is something that we're not talking about as much as a community. But if you can tell, we're going to start off. Basically, FansToys is releasing the Stunnicons, right? X-Transbox is releasing the Stunnicons too, and DX9 for lack of a better term. But if you can tell, obviously, they're 2 different scales, right? So the Carbots for FansToys are much bigger than the Carbots for X-Transbox, which X-Transbox went with Transformers Masterpiece scale. And to tie it all together, rumor is FansToys is going to be doing every season 1 robot at some point. Now, I don't know if that's today. I don't know if it's by 2025, whatever. And if you follow this, if you're in this game, you follow this, you know that they release renders for Mirage and Jazz. And so I couldn't get to my Mirage and Jazz. Sorry, they're just in a bad spot. But I have MP prior. And the question is, should they redo this scale to match this scale? So let's take this guy, because let's move this guy to the side. And let's go here. The reason I went with X-Transbox is because I think that this scale, I think that this is woefully out of scale with the cartoon representation. And I'm not super tuned from a look standpoint. I go by what would it look in the real world, or what does it look like if it's real. So that's and the reason I went with X-Transbox is specifically scale, because these 2 don't scale together. And there's the episode where, like, the Masquerade episode where Autobots sub in for Stunnicons, and you know, people getting Stunnicons and Autobots confused. So I think that if they built on that premise, you should try to tie the scales as much as possible. So right now, while this is an excellent figure, all the Stunnicons are damn good figures. Like, it's just too woefully out of scale for me. And whether I display them combined or individually, I still am one of those people who, like, it needs to make sense for me in all 3 modes. And this just doesn't make sense in robot mode compared to an MP car. Now, in FansToys, could they rescale cars? Absolutely. I think they're the only company that can rescale cars. They have the reputation that basically their products sell out in minutes or days or whatever. So they definitely could be the company that basically comes back and say, hey, we're going to redo the car scales and make the car match up with our Stunnicons. And even if that means them redoing a Hound, which they've done, I don't think they're above that. I don't think that they should be above that. I think that they can kind of, because my biggest problem in Transformers right now is kind of, the cars just feel too small. The Carbots specifically, only the Carbots, not the Mini-Bots, not anything else. I think the Carbots just feel too small. I know it was a Sunbow scale thing, but I think we as collectors are past the Sunbow scale. I think that now with products coming out being such top quality, I think that that whole Takara sets the tone thing is a thing of the past. And I think that a company, especially FansToys, could come out and redo Sideswipe, Sunstreaker, Proud, Blue Streak, Jazz, Mirage, Skids, Red Alert. If I'm forgetting, pretty much those, Wheeljack. If they could do those characters in this scale, I think that it would be a success. And for me, I would be all in and buying them. So I think that they could do it. I think there's a market for it. I think that, you know, as collectors, as we evolve, I think that they could open up a new market to keeping this thing fresh, keeping this thing new. And I think that a bigger Carbot would look better with Starscream, the Seekers, Megatron, Prime, the Van, Ironhide, all them. I really do think that that would be better. So I do think they could do it. Should they do it? As you said, yes, I think they should do it. I think that, I think they should do it for 2 reasons. One, it would basically invigorate collectors, and for people who missed out on MP things, which are still readily available, they could kind of, as us more mature collectors would be, for lack of a better term, would be dumping off these to get this newer scale of this, you know, this and the newer scale. Collectors would be able to pick up MP cars for a cheap price. And I think that would be a good way to get a second wave of people into it. And also, I think that it's just something fresh. It keeps G1 going. Everybody wonders if we're going to ever get all the G1 characters. And, you know, I hope we do, but we probably won't. But as we evolve and get better renditions of things, I think that it keeps it fresh, it keeps it alive, it keeps it going. And for me, who G1 is my love, like I like Prime, I got a lot of the movie stuff, Unique Toys movie stuff. This is the one that resonates the most with me. And FansToys right now makes the best representation of these characters. So if FansToys chose to raise the scale, I definitely am in. They definitely could do it. I think they should do it. And I think that it would just keep it fresh, keep collecting something new. Because as collectors, we do need new turnover every once in a while. And I do think that this will bring the turnover. Finally, will they do it? Or would they do it? That's probably the hardest question in this. I think that they won't do it. But the interesting thing, and why I think they won't do it, but I do think it's interesting, they just showed the renders, right? They didn't show scales with anything. So it is a possibility, but I don't think they will do it because I do think they will be, I think they underestimate their representation and like how many people would get rid of the card box. The FansToys said, I'm bringing you Side Sight, Sunstreaker, Blue Streak, all those card box. I think that FansToys, FYI, this is double the price of this. And I think that this is a really good toy. So this is a really good toy. So I'm not taking nothing away from it. I think these were 80 when they came out, 70 or 80. So it's $50 more. Whatever. I think that I think they all justify the price. I think this justifies this price. I think this justifies this price. And I think that this justifies this price. So if we're going to say all this stuff is fair value, then as long as, for me, I'm getting something fair value, I'm fine with updating my collection. Now, I know that that's probably one of the biggest concerns, how many people will update their collection. I think that a lot of more mature collectors would, like people who look for updates, people who like when Transform Element came out with the Prime, when, I think that showed like, hey, if you bring a good product, because I bought Hasbro and Takara, whoever did, and I think it's the best Prime, but if you bring it out, there is a group of people who will buy it. And I think that with companies like Try My Toys who are offering payment plans on this stuff, and this stuff get more expensive, it still can be accessible to you in a different type of ways. So the wood part of it is kind of hard. I don't think they will, because I think they'll be scared to I think they would be scared to, but I definitely think they should, and I definitely think they could. But will they? I don't think so. I think that the fear would be how many collectors would get rid of all their card box to replace them with the correct size. Even though I will, there may be a lot of collectors who won't. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the rambling, trying to get my thoughts together. But could they? Yes. Should they? Yes. Will they? Would they? That's the hardest question. Thank you guys for watching again.